In the year 122, at the narrowest span across northern Britain, construction started on a border wall ordered by the Roman Emperor Hadrian. Starting at the Irish Sea and running east 80 Roman miles or 73 imperial miles through modern Carlisle and Newcastle to the appropriately named Wall's End. Built from local limestone, the wall ran along the undulating terrain with large ditches on either side. Originally over 10 feet high with protective crenellations, towers and mile castles were spaced mostly evenly along the entire length. Most of the stones have been removed over the centuries, sometimes all the way to the ground. Many of the stones now form farm and pasture fences, and most were used in the 18th century for the bed of what's now the east-west road B6318. Today, the Hadrian's Wall Trail runs the entire length of the wall's route with varying levels of trail quality and maintenance. The wall and related sites are a UNESCO World Heritage Site and one of Britain's major ancient tourist attractions. Very popular for family recreation and education. Haltwhistle is a perfect base for visiting major sections of the wall, as the AD 122 bus runs east and west directly by important sites. With just a short walk from the road to get on the wall trail. One site we were really hoping to see was the majestic 200-year-old tree of Sycamore Gap. Unfortunately, our visit was 2 years too late because one stormy night in September 2023, two men brazenly cut it down in a matter of minutes. They were sentenced to 4 years in prison, but it will be generations before anything of significant size grows back. But why did Hadrian have the wall built in the first place? The common answer is to defend against the northern painted barbarian hordes. In Wales, the normal Roman network of forts and roads was used, a model that was emulated 1200 years later by King Edward I of England. And the wall didn't replace a network of forts and roads, but there is a unique geologic feature, a natural north-facing structure called the Hwyn Sill, a massive extrusion of 295 million-year-old solid, hard volcanic rock that forms steep cliffs running the width of Britain up to 300 feet high, a natural barrier that does inspire a wall. Archaeology has revealed a lot about life in Roman Britain. For example, for centuries, construction of the wall was attributed to Hadrian's successor, Roman Emperor Septimius Severus, until inscribed tablets were unearthed that clearly showed that Hadrian had the wall built. West of Haltwhistle, the Roman Army Museum and Magna Roman Fort are an active archaeological site where excavations just started in 2023. Museum entry includes an informative tour of the site given by an archaeologist. There's a good collection of artifacts and some pretty cool replica military gear. But east of Haltwhistle, the Vindolanda Roman Fort has been continuously excavated for 50 years, and excavations are planned through at least 2028. Vindolanda is a truly incredible site to visit. So, what has the archaeology uncovered so far? Coins show that the wall was used for at least 300 years, and Vindolanda for 350 years, until 403 to 406 when Rome started to abandon Britain. The wall's 80 mile castles guarded 80 gates, controlling traffic through the wall from both sides, and some were tasked with collecting trade duties. Their rotating garrisons of 20 to 30 soldiers were based at one of the forts, like Magna and Vindolanda, which also supplied the mile castles. So the forts formed the core of the network, with main garrisons of around 300 troops. And Vindolanda foundations show that 9 different forts existed over 400 years, and towns formed beside the forts. Shoes, jewelry, and personal items show that soldiers and officers had wives and children living in and around the forts. And their items came from all around the empire. Vindolanda and other forts were where frontier Roman life happened. Houses and shops filled most of the village, and wells and water tanks were placed uphill while water was channeled down through the village and fort. Pottery was fired on site, and they worshipped at temples to different gods. Like this replica temple to nymphs who were supposed to guard Vindolanda's water supply. Temples to Mithras, popular with soldiers throughout the empire, were found at other sites along the wall. Projected light shows how Roman temple carvings might have been colored. The garrison headquarters was the administrative center of the fort, but the tavern was the social center. Bones with tooth marks found here show that chicken wings have been bar food for at least 2,000 years. The so-called Vindolanda writing tablets have been the richest source of detailed information, from military orders to party invitations to pleas for more beer. Written by both men and women, they've been buried in 2 millennia of mud and carefully cleaned and prepared. Their condition is such that they can only be read by infrared cameras, but over 1,800 of the paper-thin wooden tablets have been found and cataloged to date. They are the oldest surviving handwritten documents in Britain. So, what does history and archaeology say about Hadrian's choice of a wall? First, consider Hadrian's perspective. The Emperor Trajan, Hadrian's immediate predecessor, expanded the empire to its greatest historical extent. And Hadrian felt this size was untenable, so he gave up some territory and focused on solidifying borders. The wall wasn't staffed to prevent attacks into Roman territory, and it didn't. So its defensive value didn't match the expense to build it. The wall was a hard line, dividing centuries-old communities, farms, pastures, and trade routes. Its real value was keeping conquered Britons in. Its real value was as a clear symbol that south of the wall was order and civilization. South of the wall was Rome. And north of the wall was chaos and barbarism. It was not Rome. This is the real value of border walls in general, ancient or modern. In our next video, we continue north to Scotland, and first to Glasgow. So please subscribe to our channel and hit the bell to keep following our UK adventures.